Okay, perfect. There we go. So yeah, welcome everyone to our very first Q&A of the month. I have my co-host Radar with me, and I am going to let our guest introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is MaveyWavie, or just Mavis is fine too. I'm a masterclass cosplayer from Kansas City. I do all sorts of things cosplay, performance. That one's a pretty big one for me. I also do voice acting. I'm a director. I love doing skits for contests specifically. I do write my own skits. I also direct them and record them. The one I'm working on right now actually is Dr. Eggman, so I had to do some fun voice acting for that. But yeah, I go to a lot of cons up here around the Midwest, mostly Kansas City based, but I do go to a lot of Missouri cons, Oklahoma cons. I've gone to a few in Des Moines and Nebraska, but I am trying to branch out. Um, Kevin was wonderful enough to ask me to come do a Q&A today. I've been trying to go to a lot of these Sonic conventions recently because I love Sonic. This entire wall behind me is Sonic. This one's Lemillion. I'm obsessed with him. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I've won 8+ awards. Some are performance, some are craftsmanship. I do hand make everything. Maria is handmade. She's just a little wrinkly. She was in the closet. But yeah.
You have quite the resume, I see. Well, why don't you tell us your origin story? How did you get started? How did you get into cosplaying? And I know you were talking about making your journey back into the Sonic fandom. So yeah, would love to hear like how you all got started.
Yeah, so funny enough, I know 2016 is a trend right now online, but it was around 2016 when I first discovered cosplay. I admittedly don't remember off the top of my head how old I was then. Probably 14 or 15. I'm 22 now, so someone better at math than me can do the math. But yeah, it was around 2016. I found it through what was then Musically. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I went to private school my whole life until 7th grade. So around that time, I started finding things outside of religion, which was super fun. Growing up, my childhood was kind of strict. Like, I've still never seen SpongeBob. I wasn't allowed to watch Nickelodeon or Disney. For some reason, I was allowed to watch South Park, though, but that always kind of was confusing. But I did end up finding Sonic X at one point. It was for kids, actually, the Saturday morning cartoon channel, where they played Sonic X. And I was like, ooh, I like this blue hedgehog. He's pretty cool. I was like 5 years old, and the only other thing I was obsessed with was the 80s version of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So I kind of had my two things going. I found Sonic. I was obsessed with that. I'm still obsessed with it, obviously, the wall behind me. But yeah, Sonic was a gateway into the world of anime and cartoons and all of that kind of stuff. About 2016, I found cosplay, and then I only dabbled in it. Like, I would watch videos on it. I used to watch those the YouTube compilations of TikToks, well, musicallys then, of people's cosplays. And what's really cool about it is some of the people I would watch on those I'm actually friends with now. But I got obsessed with it. I kind of just sat on it for a little bit. Like, Halloween came around every year, and my costumes started getting progressively better. Um, Around COVID, though, about 2020, I'd say, is when I really got into it. Like, I started buying wigs and costumes. Uh, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I did a lot of thrifted stuff. I did a lot of finding stuff in my closet and having to explain to my mom why I cut stuff up and hot glued it together. Um, but once about 2023 hit, I think I kind of progressed from cringy TikTok era to that's cool, I want to make something. So I dug out my mom's old sewing machine, started putting things together. The first cosplay I did entirely was Bakugo from My Hero Academia. And then I took on a really challenging one. I don't know why this was the next one I picked, but I did Purah from Tears of the Kingdom, specifically The Legend of Zelda. Still have both of those cosplays. The Purah wig just kind of sits up on my shelf. If I turn it, you guys can see it. She just kind of lives up here with all the other few wigs I've deemed worthy enough to get wig heads. This one's actually one of them. And yeah, after that, I just started making things constantly. Now I live with my wonderful boyfriend, and we have a craft room. So it's just full of a bunch of the stuff I love, and so many projects are laying around.
Oh my, you have quite the story, I see. So, Radar, would you excuse me? What is your question for? I'm sorry. How do you pronounce your name again? I could be bad with names.
Oh, you're fine. It's either Mavey or Mavis, or just
Okay,
MaveyWavie.
maybe. I keep thinking in my head it's Mavi with the long A, but yeah, thank you for that. Wait, did you have a question you'd like to ask? Uh-oh, Radar, unless he's typing up the question there.
Get the
Oh,
Jeopardy music. Do 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 do.
okay. Okay, he's gonna type up his question because it's a little bit under the water. I said, what is so Raider says, what was your hardest cosplay to construct, and in comparison to what was your easiest? Excuse me.
That's a good one. I'm thinking hardest. I'd like to say Pura, honestly, because my sewing machine only does one single straight stitch. It's a really old machine. I think the last time I looked up when it was from, it was 2007. It's a Brother LILS L52125, if anyone actually knows what that means. But it's a really old machine, so everything's messed up on it. So Pura, she was really difficult because she, on her skirt specifically, has all of these like designs. And I took just fabric and I just cut it all out. And I could have just glued it to the tool that I used. Because it's like see-through bits. You see through to the other skirts underneath. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna sew it. And it looks horrible now that I look at it. Because I do still have it. Actually, I could go grab it real quick, but um, either that one or maybe my Princess Peach, because it was the first time I made a ball gown. But I don't know. I don't really like my Princess Peach. I'm kind of looking at my closet. I've got like everything lined up. I'm like, oh, which one? I think easiest though. Honestly, Maria was pretty easy. She has had some alterations. Like I'm gonna have to redo the blue top underneath because it's starting to get a little too tight. But like the top and stuff, it was just I used shirt patterns, cut them up, just kind of stitched them all together. Underneath it is just a long sleeve shirt, and there's a waistband right here that I ended up cutting off the original skirt because I made it like a pencil skirt and it was super tight and I couldn't move. So now I ended up making this like big poofy skirt, just a circle skirt. It was pretty easy. Um, Granted, I say this stuff like I haven't been doing it for a couple of years now, but either this one or I do Orko from He-Man. That one hasn't been worn in a while, but he was pretty easy. I just kind of threw him together. I don't even think I used patterns. Or my Natsu cosplay from Fairy Tail. He was pretty. He's mostly hot glued together with a little bit of stitching and stitch work, needlework. That was the only time I think I ever tried using a zigzag stitch on my machine, and I didn't even need to use a zigzag stitch. I don't know why I did that. It was just cotton and ribbon, but I tried it, and that's how I learned. I was like, oh, that doesn't work. Okay. But Natsu doesn't exist anymore. A couple years ago, one of the places I was living had bed bugs, so I ended up throwing away quite a few of my older things. Natsu got thrown away. I think Bakugo's like sewing got thrown away. But everything else is pretty good, so I still kept it.
Okay, well, thank you for that question, Raynor. So before I get to my next question, I believe it was Dodger. After if I get the channel. Yes, I'm sorry. Dodger, yes. Since Sonic X is help with is what you got you into Sonic. Dodger was asking, what's your favorite episode of Sonic X?
Ooh, okay. Favorite episode. I don't know why this one specifically has stuck with me. I think it's because I love Halloween so much, but the episode where they're filming for Chris's mom's movie and they're in that like haunted castle and one of them picks up like the hourglass thing and the ghosts come out. I don't know why that one stuck with me specifically. I wish I could remember the name of it off the top of my head, but that one I have watched probably the most. Um a good runner up is the cruise episode. Like Sonic kills me on that. I used to be a lifeguard even though I don't know how to swim. That's a story all in its own. But I find it funny because I enjoy swimming, but I kind of feel Sonic with that. I want to go on a cruise, but I feel like the whole time I'd be like, I want to go home. Get me off of this boat.
Yeah, episode before the cruise you were thinking of is episode 19, the ghost of King Boom Boom, and the image of Amy with that ghost face that will forever live on in our brain.
Oh yeah. And then Sonic like on the cruise when he's trying to like gaslight everyone into letting him off. I call Sonic X Sonic specifically a diva. He's just so funny.
So my next question for you is like, what's the process you go through to put together your cosplays?
My process is very unorthodox. I have ADHD, and a little bit of autism. So my brain is just chaos. There, like looking around my room, there's like one project, two projects. There's an entire third project that's Strawberry Miku. I got Dr. Eggman, whole bunch of Sailor Moon and other Sonic characters just kind of sit over there. Um, I have a giant work in progress hammer for my Amy cosplay that is just kind of sat around my room for the last year or so. It's moved 4 different times now. um, it takes me a while to actually finish something, admittedly. I'm terrible with procrastination. Um, that's why I'm surprised Maria got finished as soon as she did. Just one day I was like, oh, I'll cosplay Maria. And it just kind of happened. I was like, oh, maybe I should do Amy next. And I went to work on Amy, and then we ended up moving. So she got stuck in the closet, and she's at a part now where I have to redo something. And my brain's like, that's too much work. No, I'll do that another day. But my competition builds, as much as I hate it, I do procrastinate them quite a lot. Uh, I have a contest coming up here in Kansas City, actually, at NakaCon in Overland Park. That is my favorite convention ever. They have an amazing cosplay contest. I've never won anything there yet, but I hope this year. I'm doing Dr. Eggman, and I have a whole skit with it. I had to put on Maria, and I built a little set in my corner of like a blanket fort with some Christmas lights all thrown in it, kind of based off the movie. So I filmed some lines there, and what originally was supposed to be comedy ended up becoming emotional baggage. And it's funny thinking of it now, but I showed a couple friends, and then I let a couple people in the Sonic Expo Discord server read it, and I was like, give me some feedback, like criticism, like whatever, like let me know. And a couple of my friends were like, I don't even like Sonic, and I think I almost cried at this. And that just sent me on like a tangent of once I have a bit, I kind of commit to it. So I have a work in progress Dr. Eggman. I did all the voice acting yesterday, so I'm still chopping down some audio, and the contest allows for a video backdrop this year. So I have a whole bunch of stuff for that. But I think I have like 2 days until the deadline because it is a juried contest. So that means they look through the entries and only select some of them to move on into the actual contest. And they prefer you to be 50% done. But also the people who run the contest know me, and they know this probably won't get done until the morning of. I think I've done that with the last 4 cosplays I've made for a contest. My Perona from One Piece was quite literally, I stayed up for like 3 days, I think. Don't do this. This is a horrible example, but I was up for like 3 days. I got it all finished in 3 days, including I did all the embroidery and all the hand beading and all the stuff on it. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm done. I could go take a nap. That would be the healthy choice. And I ended up making an entire backdrop as like a set. So I didn't sleep that day, but I ended up winning best skit, so I guess it kind of paid off, but don't do what I do. Be healthy about it.
I do admire your dedication, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, once I commit to something, especially if it's a bit, like recently as a joke, we had a convention here in Kansas City come through that had Ryan Drummond and Jason Griffith as guests. So naturally, I wanted to do something Sonic related. And although Jason Griffith voices my favorite Sonic character, which is Jet the Hawk, I never actually ended up working on the Jet cosplay I had planned. And I was like, well, I could just wear Maria, or I have Eggman, who's like not the one I'm making currently, but I had like someone once bought off my Amazon wish list. I have just like a red tailcoat jacket, and I was like, yeah, I have that. But as a joke, I put on my Rem cosplay from ReZero. I've never worn it out before, and I was like, hey, I've had this for like 2 years and nothing has come of it. So I put it on and I showed my boyfriend. I was like, made Eggman. And he's like, you should like film a TikTok with that. That's funny. And I was like, okay, but people aren't gonna like it. Like, if anything, I'll get hate comments. But I have like a backbone with the internet. Like, I don't take anything I see on the internet like heartedly or anything like that. It's all with a grain of salt, especially people who leave hate comments. I just kind of roll my eyes at them. Some of them are a good chuckle though. But I posted the video and I used an Iron Mouse song because I just thought it was a funny song, and I didn't realize people hated the song so much. But the song mixed with the cosplay, somehow it blew up online, and it has collectively between Instagram and TikTok, I think over 500,000 views now. And I can't unlive it. I posted a few other videos about it, and they all also got like huge amounts of numbers. Like, I'm used to, if I get up to like 10,000 views, I'm like, ooh, that's fun. I get like 500 views, and I'm like, hey, 500 views, yay! But the other ones, when they blew up, I was like, oh, oh no. Because that's my most popular cosplay now, is a joke. And the comments battle between they hate the song, they love the song, they hate the cosplay, they love the cosplay. For some reason, there's a good amount of people who are mad that I wasn't a femboy. Like, they went and looked at my other stuff, and I present female quite a lot, even though I usually am. I go by they, them pronouns, but usually I present as more femme than masculine, and people started getting really upset about it. And I was like, well, that's what you guys are upset about? But it started as a joke, and now it's people in the comments are just like going at it. And now all the comments, every time I open the app, they're all in Spanish. And some of them I can't translate on the app, so I don't know what people are saying now. I hope it's good things.
I remember you showing me the video, and I was just laughing so hard because the concept is so funny. I love it.
Yeah, like if anyone in the audience wants to see it, my Instagram and my TikTok are just MaveyWavie. It's the same video. They're posted on both of them. I took the photo of it was like 3 in the morning when I did this, and I went and woke up my boyfriend, and I was just standing over him, and he's like, sleepy. He's like, I'm gonna take a photo of this. And I was like, okay, do it. So I ended up putting that video in one of those like CapCut templates of the my is a party and then like something about the club. And it was trending for a while, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be really funny. Let me just do this. And then that got a lot of views, and I was like, really? It's the concept of social media is so funny because I post videos that I work like super hard on, or it's like costumes that I've spent multiple months working on, and they get a couple views here and there. A couple people, mostly the same people, were like, whoa, that's really cool. And I'm like, thank you. And then I post like something that took me 5 minutes to put on. And I didn't even like learn a dance for it. I just kind of improv something. And I'm not a dancer, but it just kind of worked. I thought it was funny and I posted it. And now I'm just kind of stuck with it. The maid Eggman is actually what I ended up wearing to that convention I was talking about. Drayson Griffith and Ryan Drummond got pretty good laugh out of it. A lot of people like would look at me and they think, oh, just maid, and then they look up and see the bald cap and the mustache and they're like, oh, Eggman. But I actually really love Eggman. I keep calling myself an Eggman apologist. My friends think I'm weird. I love Eggman so much. But I don't know. I have so many Eggman cosplays planned now.
Hey, and in fairness, he's like the perfect villain for Sonic. They complete each other.
Recently, I don't know what started this, but as of like the last maybe 2 weeks, maybe it's because I'm so enveloped in my Eggman skit, but I keep telling my friends it started as a joke. I was like, wow, guys, I might put Eggman on my Hear Me Out cake. And they're all like, okay, Mavis, okay, whatever. I have a trend of I pick really weird characters as a joke, and then it becomes not a joke. And that happened with Eggman again, and now I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, I did it to myself again. Okay. Because I did the same thing with Dr. Cortex from Crash Bandicoot, which is, funny enough, one of my other hyperfixations. Um, Cortex is on my TV right now. But yeah, I keep picking these weird and random characters, and then it becomes not a joke at one point. But my friends keep calling me the Eggman apologist because they'll go online and find like horrible clips of whatever he's doing. Like someone said the metal virus from IDW. I won't spoil it or anything, but somebody sent that and they're like, "Really, you can apologize for this?" And I was like, "Give me 5 minutes, and I probably could find a reason why." But I am kind of picky though. My Eggmans. I really love Sonic Boom, Dr. Eggman. He's hilarious. And then the IDW comics and Sonic X are the other two that kind of come to mind. But the like Sonic Underground Eggman or Robotnik in that one. And then the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and the Sonic the Hedgehog show with like the Archie comic characters. Those ones where I'm just kind of like, okay. But like more modern Eggman, I'm just like,
I'm laughing. I'm just laughing. I'm just thinking of laughing at the concept of made Eggman. I just love your responses. It's great. But yes, Radar. Do you have another question you'd like to ask her?
telling my friend group in my own Discord server that ironically is named after Eggman now. Everything's Eggman. The picture's Eggman. Eggman Enterprises. I'm putting in there. I'm like, guys, I'm ranting about how hot Eggman is to a Sonic server. Somebody send me help.
We had just one while we're waiting for radar to type up. We had just one like panel, so we do character skits here too, and it was like come up with an idea to capture Sonic, and one of the members here came up with something like so good that it just like surprised all of us. I'll have to find that again.
Honestly, I used to do in-character panels. I might bring them back. I do a lot of panels, actually. My most popular is I do an improv panel where it's me and then usually two or three of my other friends that go. We host it and we introduce the games, and then the audience comes and participates. I don't really participate as much anymore because every time the panel comes around the last few times, I've been like exhausted, but I power through because that's what actors do. And my boyfriend loves doing it, so I'm like, you want to go demonstrate? You go knock it out of the park, sweetie. So he loves playing the games. The next con coming up is actually where that panel debuted, NakaCon. So I'll probably end up doing that one. It's been accepted the last few years, and we have an 18 plus version now. Since the last person of our panel finally turned 18, and I was like, I could do 18 plus now because I don't have to make it 16 plus for you anymore. So I have like a couple props I'm making for it, and we have a couple games with like a hear me out cake and stuff where you're gonna draw the character off of it and you have to act like that character. Even if you don't know who it is, you just have to take an educated guess based on the photo. So naturally, my friends who help out with it, they're like, okay, so it's just gonna be all the characters Mavis is obsessed with,
Oh,
which
that
is
sounds
kind of
like a
fun.
fun panel. But yeah, Radar was asking, what is your favorite Eggman robot? Babnet, Egbert, main character he built, anything at all, really.
Hmm. Truthfully, I really like Orbot and Cubot. I know those are kind of like his henchmen and his goons, but I really like them. Like the similarities between it of Cubot's dumb and then Orbot is like smart. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're recent, but I really think they're funny. Um, the ones he makes in Sonic Boom are really funny too, like Birdbot, and it's just like idiotically named. I think those are funny. Um, I actually just went on a massive rant in my own server about Eggman's like henchmen and badniks and stuff. Um, and how he's only really had maybe two actual human like henchmen that aren't Mobians or robots. And I think I went on this like massive rant about it. I love Grounder and Scratch and Coconut. Those ones are really funny. I love Orbot and Cubot. Um, I was talking to about the ones from Sonic X, Deco, Boko, and Bokoon. I love Bokoon. I think he's hilarious. He's like, oh, what's the word for it? Um, he's like the humor, the dramatic relief from like a serious scene, and I think he's
Oh,
super fun.
the comic related, that's the term you're looking for?
Yeah, the comedic relief. That's what I am in my friend group. The comedic relief.
Okay, well, thank you for that question, Radar. So my next question for you is, like, what do you do to get into character when doing character sketch? And were there any like memorable character sketch panels that you remember?
Yeah, so recently, if anyone wants to go watch my skits, I do upload them on YouTube. I have my two most recent ones, my ones that actually won awards, um, are posted up there. It's the full skit. I didn't censor anything. My favorite one so far is actually the one that my boyfriend participated in. We did, he was Crash Bandicoot, and I was Dr. Cortex. That's one of my favorite cosplays I do. Even though he's on a temporary retirement, I have to remake his like bald cap headpiece because my dog chewed it up. Funny enough, my dog's name is Shadow. But that one was really super fun. It was just a lip sync. There's a guy on YouTube named NP Carlson that he doesn't use AI. He uses like the voice lines from the shows and well not the show, the games. And he picks them apart and he auto tunes them into a song. And he has a parody of Allie and AJ's potential breakup song. And it's called Bring Me the Crystals. And I love that song. It's so funny. It was like my number 2 listened to song on my YouTube Wrapped last year, which is really strange. I don't remember listening to it that much, but somehow that and the Dead Dance from Wednesday was up on the top. Two most random things for me to listen to, but that one was really super fun. It was just a lip sync, but my boyfriend did Crash and I did Cortex, and we just did a beef on stage. And that one actually ended up winning Best in Show for the contest that we did. It was GalaxyCon St. Louis. That one's on YouTube if anyone wants to see it. My channel is just MaveyWavie. My Perona skit is also up. It was Perona from One Piece, and she runs a hotline for ghosts, ghouls, and zombies to ask her questions. It's like a help hotline. And basics of it was she keeps helping zombies and ghosts, but every other caller is Luffy, and he calls back and he is just going on about trying to order pizza, and it's not a prank call. Like, he's genuinely just hungry and he just wants food. There's one line where it's like, "Oh, can I eat a zombie?" And I thought it was super fun. Like, I did all the voice acting for it. Obviously, I do a Luffy impression, so that one was super fun. Getting into character it's strange, really. I've done cosplay for so long where I kind of just can do it. Like I said earlier, I'm 22, but I've done theater for 21 years. So acting, I've literally been on stage my whole life. I'm both glad and upset my mom didn't let me be a child actor for film and television. But I was involved with like my church's stuff, and then my private school did Christmas productions, Easter productions. At one point, I was baby Jesus, which is really funny. But after all of that, it's become really super easy for me to. But I also only do skits for characters that I really like. I pick ones that I know I'm gonna resonate with in some way. That's why Dr. Cortex was such a no-brainer, because I've worn that cosplay so many times now. It won the Best in Show, it won Best in Hallway a long time ago at the first convention I wore it to. And I'm even friends with the voice actor who does Dr. Cortex. But I thought it was hilarious. I get into character with him super easily. I love calling him a diva. I think he's so funny. Perona was pretty easy too, because she's also a diva. I have done a couple other skits that aren't online. I'd have to go back and find videos of them, but my Princess Peach one was just like, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking with it. At the moment, I thought it was hot shit and I'd win the contest. I obviously didn't, but I just wanted a quick change, which is why I think I did that one. One of my other skits that won a judge's choice, and this cosplay will never see the light of day again, but I have a background with childcare. So naturally, things that kids like end up becoming things that I get stuck listening to. I heard 6-7 so many times over Christmas break. It drove me nuts, but I was in education around the time the Minecraft movie came out, and I like Jack Black enough to where I was like, this would be funny. Like, this would just be a super easy costume. And I had cotton batting that I like put hair ties on, and I was just able to slip it over my ears so it just stayed on. I didn't have to glue it or anything. And I made a beard. I didn't have a wig. I just used my natural hair, put on some jeans for the first time in like years, and a blue shirt. And I was like, okay, I have Steve. And that's about the time I figured out GalaxyCon's masquerade contest, which is just skits. They don't do craftsmanship. That's a different contest on Saturday. But Sunday is just the masquerade. And it's a skit. Or performing like a giant talent show with actual awards in it. And I don't know what like stemmed this idea, but I was like, let's have Steve go on Shark Tank. And I put together this whole skit where Steve's got like a big giant easel and there's papers on it that I was slipping through. And I was like, zombie chicken, the best friend. And I drew like hearts around it. And it was the Jason Momoa. And I did all of those like right before the contest. And it was just really random. It won a judge's choice. It wasn't anything super big, but I think that one's also on my YouTube channel. Yeah, that one is. But that one was kind of one of the ones where I first sat down, wrote out a skit, and was like, oh, I kind of see how this is supposed to go. And then after that, every skit I've done so far has won something. So I kind of just keep doing the same process. Something about skits is it's super important that the audience can follow along even if they don't know the source material. That's like with my Perona. It was so dumbed down. It didn't have too many references to One Piece because that's such a god-awfully long anime that not everyone's made it through. Same with like Dr. Cortex. It's such a forgotten media that people recognized it and were like, oh, I remember that, but they didn't remember like really niche references and details. So everything was like really dumbed down. And also, whenever you write one from scratch, something that's really important is that it has a solid start, a middle, and an end. You don't want it to fall off towards the middle or the end and have like a really super strong start. You want it to be really cohesive and have flow with it. I've written and directed my own shows before, like actual full-length shows. So that kind of helps. I started that in high school. We did, seniors were able to direct their own shows, and I was one of the ones that directed one. I had to act in that show too. I played a grumpy old man. Funny enough, because no one else wanted the role, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I don't care, I wrote it, I'll do it. But there is kind of a hard part that comes with them, is especially when you write them yourself, and you direct it, and you film it, and you have to act it, you fall into a trend of if you start thinking something is bad, you feel like you have to redo it, and you have to rewrite it, because you're the one that wrote it, you have the power to change it. That's, for this next convention I'm doing, I've kind of fallen into it several different times, where I think I wrote 7 different skits for 7 different characters and different fandoms. And I was like, I don't like any of these. And, like, they're good. Like, I'd like to do it at other contests. The one I'm entering specifically has a delegate award to go to Winter Cosplay Championship at Holiday Matsuri. And the con specifically for their contest, it has to be something of Japanese origin. So the original thing I was working on for several months was Strawberry Miku, but she's Garfield. And I had a whole set planned of my boyfriend was going to puppet a Garfield Muppet I was going to make, because I really love Jim Henson and I love puppets and the Muppets. And he was going to puppet it, and I was going to do like this whole Garfield thing, but I was told there was a chance I wouldn't be able to compete for Best in Show and the WCC Delegate Award, which is what I want to win super desperately. So I kept trying to change it, and I just wasn't liking anything. And I finally settled on the Eggman skit. I wrote it as a joke, and then I sent it to my friends, and they're like, "That's good. You need to do this." So that's the thing I've been running with. It's only been about a week too since I wrote it. I move very quickly.
Okay. Let's see. So, Radar was saying as a follow-up question, what do you think of Sage and Belle in relation to Eggman?
I truthfully kind of like Sage. I don't know the fandom's like real opinion on her. It's newer Sonic I've had an issue with getting into. Like, I'm only halfway through the IDW comics. I'm about to the part where the metal virus comes into play. And Dr. Starline is there, and who's the new characters, Tangle and Whisper and stuff like that. And like with Sonic Frontiers, I know it's not that new. Like, it's been several years now, but I think I've only made it up until the level of like Amy. I remember like a desert or something. Um, it takes me forever to get through video games, which is so strange because I love Sonic and I love Crash. Um, very few of the games I've actually made it fully through. I watch a lot of gameplays and I like watch all the cutscenes, so I know what happens. But actually playing the games kind of pisses me off. I was stuck forever on Sonic Heroes with the jungle level for Team Sonic and Team Shadow. When you have to go through the vines and like the crocodile thing is jumping out of the water. I hate chase scenes. They give me so much anxiety. I hate them. I used to try to make my mom do it for me. Um, my first video game was Strawberry Shortcake's Sweet Dreams game or something like that. And at that point, my worst fear was tornadoes. And there's a level in that game where you're chased by tornadoes. So I think that's where that stemmed from. But I get stuck on chase levels. Like with Crash Twinsanity, I never in my childhood got past the level of the cavern where it's Crash and Cortex and they're fighting and rumbling. And there's like a drill coming out of the ground. And that's only like surface level of the game. It took until I was like 16 to actually get past that. And I was like, oh, there's more to this game than I got to. What? Um, and then there's a couple where I like super hyper fixate on them. Specifically Sonic Riders. I've fully played that game so many times. That probably easily is my favorite video game. Obviously, Jet's my favorite character, so that kind of makes sense why that one would be my favorite. I play Zero Gravity a whole bunch too. I've never played Free Riders because I never had a system it was on. Um, but I've watched the cutscenes of it, and the fact that they're just like Danganronpa characters and like text boxes, it pisses me off. So I try not to think about that game, truthfully. That's about the time Jet got recasted, anyways. And I love voice actors so much. I'm friends with so many of them, but that was one where I was like, Jason, no! Jason, come back! We miss you, Jason! But Michael, I think, is who does him now, but I've warmed up to it. I ended up buying. Recently, we had the massive snowstorm, and the Midwest got hit pretty bad by it. So we got snowed in, and I ended up buying Sonic Crossworlds. I wanted that game strictly because of Jet. Not gonna lie. Hatsune Miku being in the game was also kind of funny to me, but I bought it strictly because of Jet. I don't play any other characters but Jet. I think I played Miku once and I played Eggman once, but the racing games, strangely enough, are like I drift to the hardest, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I made it far enough into Frontiers to know who Sage is and like her. So I guess she's alright. I have seen the comparison though where people were calling it Eggman's daughter. And I guess I could kind of see that. I haven't like deep dived it or anything. I probably actually might go deep dive it after this, but that's one of those ones where I was just like, okay, it exists. I kind of do the same thing with ships. Like I don't think I really ever ship anything anymore. As a kid, I was diehard Sonic and Amy. Like I hated Sally growing up. Now I'm just kind of like, whatever. Because canonically Sonic is married, and I'm like, whatever. I don't really care. Like the romance stuff, I was just like, eh. It's kind of like with the I'm super big in the My Hero fandom, and that's another one where it's like the shipping. It's like, oh my god, I don't care. But everyone has their own opinion about it, and if someone ships something and I don't like it, I just keep quiet about it. Like I don't like starting problems about it. Whatever, everyone has their own opinion. It's
That
what
is
can I
the best
do?
way to go. But yeah, so Radar was also saying, when you get around to meeting Belle in the comics, you'll definitely get some interesting Eggman content, especially with the upcoming arc starting this coming week, because that's when Jade makes her IDW debut.
So I'm gonna Google. Yeah, I know her roughly. Like I've seen her. I was like, she kind of reminds me of like a like Oktoberfest, like German character. That's probably wrong, but like I've seen her, and I was like, or I think it's a she, something like that.
I
But
know you were talking about Crossworlds a moment ago. Dodger was asking, have you tried the Crossworld Miku cosplay?
cosplay, no, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Um, I've recently gotten into Miku a lot more than I have in the past, like Vocaloid and stuff. Mostly because of the whole Garfield Miku crossover I was trying to do. That still is gonna happen. I was just trying to make it too much into what I was calling pasta Miku to be able to make it qualify for the contest I wanted to do. And I kind of removed a lot of the Garfield stuff out of it. And truthfully, that made me really sad and not want to do it. That's partly why I ended up writing something different. But I decided for another contest that's like right after NakaCon, Planet Comic Con here in Kansas City. I've never competed at Planet Comic Con, and I was like, okay, this is a big enough like costume where maybe I could do it. And my apartment complex recently was giving out gift cards for good reviews. So I have a bunch of Amazon cards now, and I think I'm still gonna end up making the original plan of Garfield Miku that I designed for that contest instead. But there is several different Mikus that I want to do. I got from a thrift store like this like blanket tapestry that's got a whole bunch of fish on it. So all my friends were like, "You should cosplay Bass Pro Miku." So that might end up happening.
All right. Well, thank you for that question, Dodger. My next question for you is, do you have any advice for people that are trying to get into cosplay or looking to do like actual character sketch at conventions?
Yeah. So cosplay wise, just do it. I've said that in so many things. One of my friends, his name is Wolfio, and he does interviews at conventions. He always asks me that question. The easiest way to do it is just do it. Don't care what people are gonna say. Cringe culture is something that people were like so worried about, but in reality, it's like I love stuff like that. The weirder you are just shows me like that's a fun person, like that kind of thing. Um, find what you have for it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Something I've struggled with, especially being a master crafter. And when I compete, I'm in the master category. So, for a little outline of that, in most competitions, you get categorized by either beginner, intermediate, and masters. And masters is like you've won awards, like I have, or you've done like professional theater, costuming, you have degrees in it, you do it for a living. And it's think like C2E2 Crown Championship, like a bunch of those people are masters. And beginners even now are like pulling out these super amazing costumes. And it's really cool to watch someone like progress. I have a friend that I've been watching progress since they first made something to now it's like, you made that! And it's really cool. But I encourage people, like, just try it. Like, you have to get off the phone watching videos and just try it. Like, just pick up the sewing machine. Just try something. Just play around with it. See what works. When it's come to like crafting and stuff. But even the people who don't want to craft, like if you just go to your thrift store, shift through things, you can find anything that'll work. Really, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Several of my cosplays are just thrifted materials. And thrift stores, actually, I like using bed sheets and things of that sort, especially for mock-ups and stuff. Of course, I come home and I wash them, but that's how I've gotten a lot of my fabric before. I kind of have a hoard of fabric. I kind of hoard my craft materials, but just use what you got around you. And if you want to do skits, just play around with it. Do something fun. A lot of people lean into comedy, but dramatic skits don't get done enough, in my opinion. Everyone wants to lean towards like comedy act. And if you have like 12 comedy acts against one dramatic act, sometimes people will lean towards the dramatic act, but every contest is different. Every judge is different. I have such a problem with the people at like the big cons. Like every year it's New York Comic Con and something big will win, or like once before someone in a dress won over someone in like big mech builds. And it's like, one, the judges are always going to be looking for different things. And two, there's a lot of things you don't see as an audience member. Like, you're not up close looking at the seams and like the finishes and all those kind of things. Like, is your zipper installed correctly? And a lot of the times, those big builds, like with armor and stuff, one of the downfalls is they have seams that are showing, even with pieces of foam, paint jobs, stuff like that. But when you're first starting out, it doesn't have to be perfect. You could just do it for fun. That's kind of how I did it. And I fell into a trap of everything has to be handmade. Everything has to be perfect. I had a negative influence on me too. Was one of my ex-friends. We're no longer friends, actually. They probably think of me more like a nemesis now. They still, I won't name drop them, but they moved across the country, and for some reason, 2 years later, are still trying to drag my name, which I find really silly. Because all the stuff they say I did, I in fact did not do. I have all the receipts for it. But I've kind of moved on from it. But whenever I was friends with them, they sandbag a lot. So that means they have something that won that they don't change and they enter into another contest. And like if it's a smaller contest to a bigger contest, sometimes you can get away with that. But they had like 6 to 7 or even more, I don't know, 6, 7, whatever. Multiple like best in shows for one single costume. And I had the influence of them. And they were really hard on me. They were like, you have to be perfect. You need to win. If you don't win, you suck. And now that we're not friends anymore, I'm starting to get back into my flow of I just want to make stuff and have fun. I don't do a lot of popular cosplays. I like doing niche things. Like if it's something I like, it's probably niche. And this year, one of my goals is I said I was going to do 35 Sonic cosplays for the 35th anniversary. I don't know if that'll end up happening, but yeah, just get into it. Just have fun with it.
So thanks for asking, from one theater kid to another. Costume-wise, what is the most fun musical?
Ooh, costume wise. Costume wise, I'm obsessed with the Moulin Rouge. I love the can outfits. We have a theme park here in Kansas City, Worlds of Fun. Um, Hate the company now, but I used to work for it. I was one of their dressers. I helped do costumes. I've auditioned for them several times too to be in the actual shows, but there's a show there where they copy the Moulin Rouge and use a whole bunch of popular songs, and they do like I think I counted one single show of like a 20-minute. Every hour, it's a 20-minute show. They did 66 changes between the four girls and the four boys. And it was like, they'd go out, you had like 2 minutes to set up every outfit. They would come running in, there's a line, they all unzip each other at the same time. It was super quick, and I got used to it, but they had the can outfits. And I was like, wait, this is really cool. Like, what is this from? And they're like, it's Moulin Rouge. So that I ended up looking up, and now I'm obsessed with it. Um, my personal favorite musical is Ride the Cyclone. I am obsessed with Jane Doe. I think if I ever did like a cosplay from a musical, it would probably be Jane Doe. Um, I really like Beetlejuice the musical. I'm kind of okay with like the Addams Family musical. Um, I'm obsessed with Cabaret, thanks to the college I went to. Um, Costume wise, I really like how they did Phantom of the Opera, truthfully. Um, Trying to think of like just costume ones. Ooh, costumes. I like Six the Musical. I really like their sparkly outfits. And then one of my friends is obsessed with Starlight Express. So naturally, I listened to it for her. And then I was like, wait, they roller skate the whole show? And I love roller skating. So I actually did my senior musical, we did Pippin. And I convinced my teacher, I was like, please let me be on skates at one point in the show. Like, I have my own roller skates. I will be fine. And then a couple other girls wanted to get involved with it. And I've learned a little bit of like figure skating and stuff, but I translate it from ice to roller skates. And I use quads. I don't use blades or anything. Um, and the other two girls were like, "Well, we'll just skate down the aisles and look pretty." I was like, "Okay, I'll be on stage and do like all these tricks and stuff." And my teacher was like, "Okay, but you have to be able to get done with this part, get off the stage, take the shoes off, the skates off, and be on stage in your starting number." So I opened Act Two, and I was just ensemble. I wasn't like an official character. I was the understudy for Fastrada, though the stepmom, I think, is what she is. But one of the shows, I think it was the last show, I didn't get my skates off in time. Um, Somebody had a hold up at like the little door because we had to go downstairs and upstairs to get off stage, and somebody would not let me through. So I didn't have time to sit down and take my skates off. I think it was like 30 seconds I had to take them off. So the opening number when the curtains opened was a dance number, and I had to be in my spot because I had like a little dance solo and I did like a vocal solo. And I'm getting out there and I can see my director front and stage. I'm in the skates, like doing the dance. I'm like up on the toe stops and I would fall down on the wheels a couple times, but somehow I did it without falling. And I remember the end of the show, my teacher came up to me and she's like, I don't know what you did, but I'm so glad you didn't hurt yourself. Because I had to get super close to the edge of the stage several times, but that's one of my more fond memories of high school theater, at least.
Oh, oh, all right. Thank you for that question, Prankster. Radar, did you have another question you'd like to ask her?
Oh, I just found the channel where everyone's been talking.
Oh, sorry. Let me hang it out.
No, it's okay. I just found it.
I am so sorry.
No, I'm terrible with Discord. So,
Look, Discord confuses me too because they like to change things. They like to change things around.
ooh, Prankster VA, Westerners, Midwesterners. Don't let your dreams be memes. That's one of my friends always tells me that. I agree. Cringe culture is extinct.
Okay, so maybe would you be yourself living in Sonic World, or would you be a Mobian? And if so, what animal?
Embarrassingly enough, I've really been thinking about this the last few days. Um, like I said earlier, I'm for some reason obsessed with Eggman. And as a joke, I started looking up Eggman X readers. And I was like, oh, these gotta be crack fics. They can't be serious. And then I found a couple that went from crack fic to like they started getting serious through it. And I was like, oh, wait, these are actually really good. So I started reading them. And at that point, my brain's thinking, well, if I'm obsessed with Eggman and like romantically have like these books where you're with Eggman, I'm like, well, at that point, I'd want to be like a human. Like being a Mobian would be kind of weird. But I do have a Sonic OC. I don't have it drawn out. I have like the old one I made as a kid. As a kid, I was just like a hedgehog. Um, from like age 5 until about 12, I was obsessed with Sonic to the point where I would tell people as a kid. I don't know why I did this. I was so serious. I'd go up to people and go, "Hi, my husband is Sonic." And people would be like, just kind of looking at me. And I'm like, yeah, the hedgehog. Um, and private school kids really laid it into me with that one. And then once I hit public school, it got worse. So I kind of was like, oh, maybe I'll keep that to myself. And it fell off. I ended up starting to watch. I think what broke it was I watched Adventure Time, and I really liked Finn. And then I ended up watching. Technically, my first anime was Sonic X, but if we're not counting Sonic X, technically it's Full Metal Alchemist, the Brotherhood version. So I got really obsessed with Edward Elric. And then at that point, it started being blonde characters. And then Bakugo came in at some point. Mirio is still here. He still exists. He's obviously all over my wall. But yeah, with the Eggman ones recently, it's funny because I went from Sonic to Eggman. Had a whole switch around, but I think recently I've been like, yeah, I would have to be like another human. Like, there's universes where other humans exist. Like Sonic X is an example. A lot of the fan fictions I've been reading. There's one that was like about IDW Eggman, and the character was just like worshipping the ground that he walked on, and it reminded me of Agent Stone so much. That was actually a really good fic. Whoever wrote it, like, just died off. There's no ending to it. There's been a couple where it was Boom Eggman, and all of them you're a human. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But as an actual Mobian, I think now I would be a raccoon. I think that's my favorite animal. My mascot for like my cosplay and stuff is a raccoon. It's not public yet. One of my friends is drawing it, but his name is Timmy or Thimmy. He's a little raccoon. He's covered in paint splotches. He's like holding up a giant needle. And I kind of loosely base myself off of a raccoon. Like forever in my bios, I had is actually 3 raccoons in a trench coat. like the trench coat joke lived on for a while. They're like little silly creatures, and I really like them. You would think it would be cats because I love cats too, but probably raccoon. I remember as a kid though, my OC was like loosely a combination of Amy because I was obsessed with Sonic, and I feel what's her name? The pop star, Mina, the mongoose. I don't think I ever based it off of like a mongoose, but I was like, she has dyed hair. I want colorful hair. I want a skirt. I think that's cool. So I kind of like combined her. I combined a little bit of Shadow. Now I feel like my raccoon would be like Shadow colors because I am still emo. I guess that's the word to call it. I frequent Hot Topic too much, but I don't know. I need to actually like sit down and draw my OC or have someone draw me a Mobian OC. My boyfriend has one. He had someone draw it. I think he said he's a bird, but he goes by Duality online. So he's like this black and white yin yang mask, and his is pretty cool. But I'm surprised he has an OC and I don't. Strange to me.
Hey, no better time to start than now. But yeah, I thought of my next question. So I know you've been coming back into the Sonic fandom. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, so throughout, I'd say middle school and like high school, I still liked Sonic, but it was to a point where I was like, okay, there won't be another time in my life where I'm obsessed with this. And I really regret it because I had a boyfriend at one point. He's obviously an ex now. Didn't last that long, but we were dating through either his birthday or Christmas, one of the two. But he was obsessed with Sonic. Like, I don't want to say like the creepy kind, but like the textbook like Sonic obsessed grown man, you know. Uh, he was really weird about it. Like even now, his account pops up sometimes. I don't remember the username, but it's popped up a few times when I look up like Sonic stuff, and he's just like straight drawing Sonic porn, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like that's not something I like, but if someone else likes it, like whatever. But
Yeah, let's not go there. But anyway, please continue.
yeah, no, he's kind of weird with it. But I was like, he likes Sonic more than me. I have crap ton of Sonic comics that I would collect. It's like I'll give them all to him. And I wish I wouldn't have done that. Cause I had so many of like the Archie comics. I had one of the first copies of the Sonic Genesis comic that came out. Like it was hardcover and everything. And I had like Sonic encyclopedias and all this other stuff that I'd gotten as a kid. That was one of the only merchandise that my mom could find. Because growing up, Sonic wasn't cool. It wasn't cool to like Sonic when I was a kid. Now he's all popular and everything. But I so regret doing that because now I don't have any of them. And now I'm in like a point in my life where I have bills to pay and I can't like buy Sonic stuff constantly. Even though I kind of do, I will admit it. That's like all the Sonic stuff up here. I keep finding the figures at like Walmart and stuff, and I found one the other day of what's his name, the Mephiles guy. I love Sonic Snapcube, so I just keep saying Tilted Towers every time I see it. But now I'm like, well, now it's popular to like Sonic. I didn't have that growing up. Back in my day. Admittedly though, Sonic Boom, I kind of got back into it. Like, I still love Sonic Boom. I'm so pissed that Netflix is taking it off of the platform. I'm gonna have to find a different place to watch it now. But I think it really was the live action movies that got me back into it. I was excited, but I was like, oh, they're gonna frick this up somehow. And then the first iteration of live action Sonic came out, and I'm like, oh no, they're doing it again. As around the time where like every anime was coming out with a live action, and I was like, oh no, they're gonna do it to Sonic now. And then they redid it, and I ended up watching the first movie, and I was like, okay, this isn't bad. And then every other movie that's come out, I'm like, ah! And I have posters. I used to work at movie theaters, so I have like big movie promo posters of every movie so far. 2 of them have autographs on them from Tails' voice actor, Colleen O'Shaughnessy. Um, Ben Schwartz, the guy who does Sonic in the live actions, has been going to a couple cons that I go to, and I'm like, ooh, can he please come to the one I'm going to? Like one of the things, especially with like Sonic 3, is I've got the Shadow plush now, and I keep collecting like all the merchandise from it and stuff. But another big thing that was like end game for me basically is my favorite actor of all time. I have so many copies of the movies that he's in, is Jim Carrey. So whenever they announced that Jim Carrey was gonna play Eggman, I was like screaming, crying, like, oh my god! I love Ace Ventura so much. I have like a VHS copy of it just like up on my shelf. I don't think you can see it, but I have one. I've got like 5 copies of it on DVD. I love The Mask. I love Liar Liar, Dumb and Dumber, even like The Truman Show. And I was like got my favorite character in one of my favorite series. And that really sold it. Like his lines specifically, I have memorized. Like if I sat down and watched one of the movies, I could probably say it word for word. I stopped keeping track of how many times I watched the movies, but I got to like 300 times each for all 3. And then of course with Sonic 4 coming out, I've got like all of my own theories about it. I'm fully set in the headcanon that it's gonna be based on Sonic Heroes, because they all follow like, you know, the timelines with the games. And I personally hope it follows Sonic Heroes because I love Team Chaotix and I just need them in some way, shape, or form to have their own show. Like I know there's talk of Shadow getting a spin-off TV show like how Knuckles did. Which I love how they did Knuckles. Idris Elba did so good with it. So Shadow getting his own show is like they could introduce Omega and Rouge, and I'm like, yes, do it. And Sonic 4 is like got Amy and Metal Sonic, and I know a lot of people were like Silver, but I'm just like, well, what game has Metal Sonic? Neo Metal Sonic could happen, but there was, I think it was on like Twitter. I don't have a Twitter. I deleted it in a fit of rage. But I think it started over there, but somebody started talking about that there was leaks that Paramount is making a detective show based off of the Sonic characters, and I'm screaming like, damn! Like, one of the characters I want to cosplay right now is Vector. I have a friend who wants to cosplay Espio, and I'm like, okay, now we just need a Charmy. We're set. I love Vector. I think he's funny.
My co-host cosplays Charmy, so there you go.
Hey, there we go. Radar, you could be my Charmy. Yeah, no, I love Team Chaotix. I genuinely hope that I know it was just like a rumor, and like they said it was a leak, but it wasn't confirmed. And I'm like, I really hope that's true. Like, out of all the characters that I would want to be thought up in the live action, I don't know how they do it, but Team Chaotix getting their own show, like that or Shadow. Like, I love Rouge. I love her. She's one of the ones I have actually cosplayed before. I think there's some photos of it that exist, but she needs to get redone. I didn't ever get around to styling the wig when I did her. Actually, I think her wig ended up getting cut and spiked to be Dobby from My Hero Academia. I did the white hair Dobby. So I don't think her wig exists anymore. But like I made the wings, I made the ears, and I had like the bodysuit, and I had the heart. The heart still fits. I don't think the bodysuit fits anymore. I think I like ripped it up the seam or something. But the whole time I wore it to NakaCon last year, and it was like slipping down the whole time. And I, for some reason, didn't think of having any kind of safety barrier. And my birth gender is female, so I was like, okay, this isn't good. So she was short lived. She will make a comeback though, eventually. I love her so much.
Okay. Radar, did you have another question you wanted to ask her? Unless he's still looking. Oh no, he's typing.
Okay. Wow, it's cold outside. I hate how cold it is recently. I feel like
Yeah, it's cold here too. So I think it's gonna start warming up later in the week. Let's see. Oh yeah.
we've been in the negatives the last few days. I'm like, no, blizzard. I need a heat lamp.
Let's see. Yeah, if you have. Oh, okay. He just thought of another question.
The 2 4 hours. Sorry, I'm a
Yeah.
yapper.
Oh no, you're fine. That's why I always set aside a 2 hour block so we don't have to rush. I believe he's typing up his next question now.
To the point where I'm like, it's already 5:30 my time. Do I drink
Okay.
another energy drink?
We got about what is about 35 minutes left, unless it ends sooner. But let's see. So Vader's asking, maybe which other voice actor do you hope to meet? Either Sonic anime or other.
Ooh, okay. Ben Schwartz, because I really want to get all 3 of my Sonic movies posters signed. The biggest one for me was Jason Griffith for Jet the Hawk. And I did that at the last convention I went to. I got my Funko Pop signed. He's up there somewhere. He's actually going to another convention I'm going to though. Him and they just announced, I think it was Pete Capella. It's for a convention called Des Moines Con in Des Moines, Iowa. And they announced those 2. And same with the one I went to before was Kansas City Celebrity Con. I sent it to my friend. I sent Jason Griffith like the post to them, and I was like, "Hey, don't you like this character?" And I did it with this recent con because they only just announced him and Pete, and I sent it to them, and they're like, "Oh, so we're going." And now it's a running joke. If I had a nickel for every time I've convinced them to go to a convention solely because of Jason Griffith, I'd have 2 nickels. Not a lot, but it's funny it's happened twice. So I will end up having my Jet the Hawk finished by then. That might end up being a convention full of just Sonic. I'll have a lot of Sonic cosplays by then, but that's in May. That's one of my busy. May's always so busy for some reason. I have a con, St. Joe Retro Con here in Missouri, that I cosplay coordinate for, and then Galaxy Con, and then the Des Moines Con, and then a couple other bigger cons after that. But I think there's one I've been Googling recently where I'm like, is he to Kansas? I think it was Mike Pollock, I think is his name. Whoever does Eggman. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's Mike Pollock.
the Eggman obsession recently. I was like, oh, I need that. I have an autograph from Jim Cummings, actually. It's one of the ones that's up there. He does Robotnik in like Sonic Underground and the Archie comic show. He's also Winnie the Pooh, fun fact. But I have his autograph. So now I guess I need Mike's autograph too, especially because I like Sonic so much, or Eggman so much. I would love to meet whoever does Styx from Sonic Boom. I love Styx. She's so fun.
Nika Feldman, yep.
Styx is gonna be one of my next cosplays. Right now I have Eggman is a work in progress. He'll be done next. I'm also making a shadow wig. I really am like into wig making right now. Like I do the hard caps and all the construction on it. So I'm working on a shadow. Because I want to be Eggman and I want my boyfriend to be Shadow. Because I'm obsessed with Snapcube. So there's so many iterations there. I keep walking around doing I've come to make an announcement. That's like my favorite thing right now. It's one of my biggest vocal stems, especially with Snapcube and other references. Styx will probably end up being one of the next ones. Amy, at some point, will get finished, maybe. I don't know. Her dress is like almost done. I just need to add. I need it to fit. The top right now doesn't have a way to go around my neck, and it just, flops down. And then the hammer. I'm gonna hit a spot where I'm like really wanting to work on props. Probably like for my Garfield Miku thing, I'm doing the big fork with lasagna on it. So that'll probably make me want to work on the hammer. But right now my thing is wigs! I love wigs! And it fluctuates. Sometimes I'm like really into the sewing, sometimes I'm really into the props. Like right now it's the wigs. Once I learned how to do the hard cap wigs, I did one for Perona. She was my first one. I was like, ooh, I keep calling it a Lego piece. I grab the crown because it's glued on and I just go. Yeah, probably. I think Mike Pollock. I would absolutely die to meet Jim Carrey. That's one where I'm like, in my hopes and dreams, because man is a recluse. He doesn't do Comic Cons, he doesn't do appearances. His autograph is actually pretty rare. If I had the opportunity to meet him and get his autograph, I would drop everything. I would probably spend too much money trying to do it. He's one I'd drop everything for, though. Like, outside of Sonic, I love Jim Carrey. He's my favorite actor. I probably already said that. Or, like, if they had Keanu Reeves at a con, I know he's done a couple. He did, like, San Diego Comic-Con at one point. I don't know if he did a signing, but I remember he did, like, a panel and stuff. But I would get his autograph for Shadow. Because I do really like his iteration of Shadow. I know a lot of people, I don't know how many people liked it, but I really liked it personally. There's also been, what's his name? I know it's Lee. I don't know his last name. The guy who plays Agent Stone. He's so funny.
Lee Majubes, yeah.
Yeah, he was announced for, what was it, Sonic Expo in Dallas, and then he couldn't make it. It was one of the Sonic Expos. I didn't actually end up going myself. I've been accepted as a content creator for both last year's Atlanta and Dallas show, but I was moving around quite a lot, funny enough. So both times financially, we just couldn't afford to go because we were moving. But now that we're kind of settled in, I actually don't have a job currently. The job market is terrible, especially in the area I live in. It's not the best area of Kansas City, but once I get a job and I'm like financially stable with it, I was like, okay, I have a list of cons. I want to go to them. Like, they're all just kind of like maybes at this point. The joke I made to one of my friends was my job stability equals the equivalent of my mom saying yes. And that's kind of been the joke we've been running with. I'm like I said, I'm obsessed with voice actors. I do voice acting myself. I'm friends with quite a few that are really popular in the anime scene. Like, one that I'm like, holy crap, I'm friends with him, is Chris Sabat. He does the English voice of All Might Zoro, Vegeta, like big ticket characters. And somehow I've befriended this man. We see him a lot at conventions. I've never paid for his autograph. I have like 4 of them sitting right there on just prints. Um, the next time he's at a con, I'm probably gonna bring a Funko Pop with me because I'm friends with his assistant too. And every time I'm in line, I'm like, "Hey, it's Francesca." And she's like, "Hey, girl," and she's so funny. She's like, "Oh, my hand slipped," and she slips me like the little note card that says autograph on it. And I was like, "Oh, thanks, thank you." Um, I just got the last time I saw him was the Casey CelebCon, and I asked him. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna have a voice reel soon. Where can I send it to get it into like Crunchyroll and stuff?" And he told me I'm not allowed to share it, but he gave me like a direct email to either his studio or the Crunchyroll studio. And he's like, "Send it here. We'll get it out." And I was like the childhood in me is like screaming, crying, throwing up, gnawing at the bars of my enclosure. Like that's my dream. So that's really fun. I'm also friends with Rico Fajardo. He does Lemillion. Of course, I befriend him. I have like 7 of his autographs. Um, I am friends with the entirety of the Straw Hat crew. It's so funny. Every time I interact with Ian Sinclair, he does Brooke. He's like, Mavis. I love interacting with them. Lucy Christian is one of the sweetest people I think I've ever met. Um, yeah, I could go on and on, but I won't.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I think somebody pinged me there, and oh, we got a hand raised. I'm so sorry about that. Uh, Let me bring them up here. Oh, Emerald Cabbage has a question. See if you'd like to ask.
Yeah.
Hi, Emerald.
I was wondering what is the most obscure character you've ever cosplayed as?
Oh, that's a good question. I love to know that too.
Okay, most obscure, I would love to be able to say it's Dr. Cortex. But truthfully, I don't know. Well, a lot of people got on board with this, but last year there was a trend on TikTok with the YN character where it's like, "Oh, Levi." Ah! As a joke, I did that. Um I don't think I might have reposted the videos. I don't remember. If they're on my TikTok, you guys are welcome to try to find them, but it's pure cringe. I did it as a joke. That's another one of those where I was like, that would be funny. Made Eggman, I feel like is pretty obscure because I've seen made Eggmans, and it is actually canon. I keep hitting people on TikTok with this who are like, "What the hell is this?" I hit them with the screenshot of it in Sonic 2, the live action movie. There's a scene where Agent Stone is like swiping through the closet like screen outfits of like what he wants to put the doctor in, and there's one where he's in a maid costume. So I have that screenshotted and at the ready to throw out in my defense of Maid Eggman. Um, I did Louise Belcher at one point too. I don't wear her anymore. But I did do her at some point. I'm also one of the only people who really cosplay Lemillion. Like there is people who cosplay Lemillion, but I don't think I've seen a lot of people besides myself and like 2 others like frequently do it like I do. I feel like Dr. Cortex is pretty obscure though. I've only ever seen like 2 other people do it. And I have the nod of approval from his voice actor at least, Lex Lang, who also does Ghetto in JJK, funny enough. But I have the nod of approval from him of I went to go see him. He wanted a photo, he wanted to post it on social media. He's like, You are the Dr. Cortex cosplayer. It's like, oh, thanks. I love knowing that. That's an ego boost I probably shouldn't have.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for answering my question.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for asking.
Okay, well, thank you for that question, Emerald Cabbage. Radar, did you have another question you would like to ask her? And oh, whoops, while you're typing up that I will call up Dino Kaiji to ask a question. Hey,
Hello.
Dino.
Hey, what's up? Hello, pleasure to meet you, Mavey. Love the Maria cosplay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, yes. First of all, man, you must be very lucky to be friending a whole lot of voice actors and stuff like that.
I don't know if it's as much luck or persistence. I can be kind of annoying. Um, funny enough, but I've also met them so many times to where I went from as a kid, like as an early teenager, the first time I met like voice actors, I was like sobbing, crying, couldn't contain it. But now I've like mellowed out and made it chill. But just go up to them, treat them like normal people. I have conversations with them, and that's kind of like they recognize my cosplays. It's always something different, but they're always like, "Wait, are you Mavis?" And I'm like, "I am." Oh, but
Nice.
it's so. What's your question?
So, my question is this. So, obviously, you saw. So I'm quite curious to know, like, with all these cosplays that you had in one run, like, what for you at least was both the easiest and hardest cosplays that you've ever done?
Okay, I think kind of like what I said at like the beginning of the panel. I think my Pura from Tears of the Kingdom, the one where everyone calls her mommy. Funny enough. Um, she was pretty difficult. She was the first time I really sewed anything seriously. Like Bakugo, I sewed things for, but it was so like simple. But Pura just had so many aspects like I'd never done before. And none of it fits now. Because I made it when I was like 18 and I'm 22. Um, Second puberty hit. I've gained weight. Eating habits have changed. So none of it fits anymore. But I would like to redo that one eventually. And easiest, honestly, either like my Natsu was super easy. He
Oh,
did
we have a fairy
pretty
tale
job.
set here. Same here.
Oh yeah, my fairy tale stuff is like kind of slim, but there I have Funko Pops. I have a flag that's covered in autographs. Natsu was one I did. I do Mavis, actually. I do cosplay her. She officially got retired at the end of 2025. I gave away the wig to a friend.
Mm.
I'm attempting to find like a source to post the cosplay. It is handmade, but I am going to sell it to someone. If anyone knows anyone who wants to cosplay Mavis from Fairy Tale, let me know. I have an outfit. Um, Mavis was pretty easy actually. I altered stuff from a thrift store. Maria was super easy. She was pretty basic. And this was
Yeah,
just
I
like a fun sewing project.
Yeah, and of course, kind of like a follow up question, like what version of Natsu did you specifically cosplay as?
It was just the original, like start of the anime, the
The
black.
OG.
Yeah, I still have the wig. I don't have the outfit anymore. It was a couple years ago. When uh, I wasn't homeless, but I was kind of bouncing around where I was living. One of them had a bad problem with bed bugs, so I had to throw away several
Ooh.
of my things. I don't do bugs, so I was like, well, when I was moving out, a lot of stuff. Sadly, I was like, I would look at it, and Natsu unfortunately got. I keep calling him infected. The original Bakugo outfit, like at least the clothing wise, was infected. Um, and it was things that I had brought into the room. Like I had a room and I had a basement. I put most of the stuff in the basement. But anything in the room, I was like, and I either washed the crap out of things, like especially my stuffed animals, um, but several of my cosplays fell victim, and I did end up throwing them away because I just didn't want to deal with it. I think I did keep the scarf. I think I was able to like remedy it because it wasn't something I made. It was something someone had given to me. And Natsu is one of those characters that I have an emotional attachment to, like Miriam. So
I
the
can
scarf, I
tell.
was like, every once in a while, I become obsessed with Fairy Tail again, and I'm like, I want
Yeah,
the
especially
scarf.
with yeah, I assume so because especially with the 100-year quest anime that came out.
Oh yeah. Eventually, I will get around to watching it. It takes me forever to get actually into something. If I like something, it's because I'm obsessed with it. Um, the only thing I've really been watching right now is my friends want me to watch Gaichi Akuda. I'll watch it eventually.
Mm.
The last season of My Hero, I've been obsessed with. I think I'm almost to the 20th season of Grey's Anatomy. Love Grey's Anatomy. I don't all the
Jesus, it's
things I
still
could have
going?
said. Um, what was the other show? There was a show on Netflix I just watched, and I've like rewatched it 3 times because there's not a lot of episodes.
Mm.
I think it's called Haunted Hotel. There's a character
Oh,
named Abaddon, and he's like a demon trapped in a child's body from the 1700s. And he's hilarious. So that's the only reason I'm watching the show. But I keep rewatching it, and I'm like, oh, gonna end up cosplaying that.
yeah, I think that's the beauty of cosplay that you watch like a different show that resonate with you, and also getting to know like your different hobbies. Like obviously you cosplay Maria, clearly, oh, you love Sonic, or like in the case of like different people getting to know each other, to know what other stuff they do, what are their professions and stuff like that. And I think that's really the beauty of cosplay.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. I have several coming up that are either chaotic or mashups or I haven't really spoken on them much. I'll give you like a little hint. My boyfriend and myself too, him more than me, is obsessed with Epic the Musical.
Oh
He's
God.
obsessed with it, and I'm personally obsessed with the Muppets. And I was like, okay.
Oh.
I sat him down randomly. We're listening to the very last song of the series is Would You Fall in Love with Me or something like that. The song with Odysseus and Penelope. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey Marvin, wouldn't it be funny if we did Kermit and Miss Piggy, but it was a song? But
Oh
instead of,
God.
just Kermit and Miss Piggy, why don't it be like, because the Muppets are based around, they're actors. They do the Muppet Show. They do like it's like SNL but with puppets. And I told him, I was like, okay, boy, hear me out. Kermit cosplays Odysseus, and Miss Piggy does Penelope. And it's like you can tell, like with pig noses and still like keep the green hair and stuff, but replicate it into Epic the Musical. Um, so that's a skit that's gonna happen. That
Oh.
probably will be the next thing we do for a GalaxyCon masquerade. Truthfully,
Oh.
I also have
Interesting.
stuff planned where it's like Rouge in Moulin Rouge. Rouge the
Ah,
Bat.
I understood that reference.
I've got stuff with that. I have ideas for that. I have ideas for stuff with like Chicago the musical. Um, I told my boyfriend at some point, somehow, some way, we're gonna end up cosplaying Grey's Anatomy. Um, I feel like I told him we probably end up doing Meredith and Derek, but people have jokingly told me to cosplay Owen Hunt. And I hate him so much to the point where I think I might cosplay him just to do really weird content.
Oy vey.
Put Owen Hunt in the maid outfit. But yeah.
Uh, I think that pretty much answers my question. But yeah, again, that brainstorming ideas for different cosplays, it'll be magnificent, as I would say. But yeah, thank you so much for the answer, maybe. And yeah, I'll definitely check out more of your content once this is over. And yeah, talk to you soon. Have fun.
Yeah. See it, I know, thank you. But yeah, if someone asks me in whatever the general chat is in the server, I turned on notifications, so if anyone like ats me, I have giant Google Notes or Google Documents, and I have like Notes app, and they're filled with like cosplay ideas I want to do. So maybe I'll share those if anyone really wants to see. I have a normal list and I have a chaotic list.
So Rado was asking, let's see, my next question would be a follow-up to another. If you had to live anywhere in Sonic World, where exactly would it be?
Ooh, okay, that's a good one. My brain immediately just goes to that sounds like Pumpkin Hill. Do. I would, okay, specifically Sonic Boom. I would love to live on the island. I really like Eggman's lair that he has. I really like that. Probably the island. Trying to think, like, living in Knothole would be pretty fun. Just living on Mobius in general would be interesting. Maybe like Station Square, stuff like that. Hello, people who joined. I see people join.
Okay. Thank you for that question. Give me that question, right? Let's see. So my next question to you is, what's the what uh one cosplay you really, really want to do, but you haven't been able to make it yet?
Ooh, okay. Throwback to Fairy Tale again. My current dream cosplay, despite having like 12 of them, but one I keep thinking of and I keep saying I will end up doing is Urza, but specifically the Heaven's Wheel armor. That's the one where she has like all the big wings and like multiple swords. The actual outfit itself would be pretty easy, but it's a lot of prop work. So one of these next like big competitions I do, she won't have a skit or anything. That would be strictly craftsmanship that I would enter. But she's a big one I really want to do. Garfield Miku, the whole chaos that I have behind me, that's a big one. Eggman's been one for a while. I've wanted to make his like actual suit. And I want to make like how people do the Mario Kart cosplays with like the little Mario Kart on like suspenders. I want to do that, but with his Eggmobile. And I want to put like bumper stickers on it and have like fuzzy dice, and it's just I have a whole plan for it that I think would be funny. Actually, that was going to be what I built and entered into Sonic Expo Dallas's costume contest, but didn't end up going. Actually, my friend is the one who won Best in Show. They did the character with the jester hat. Yeah, that was them. They went down.
Oh, that was them. Oh, okay, yes, I remember that cosplay. That was a
Yeah.
really well done cosplay too.
Oh yeah, she sews for like a hobby. She's done it forever, and her work is
Yeah, but
beautiful.
now I know what it was. She cosplayed Luna from the comic, the recent character.
Yeah, she went off of like 2 reference photos for that. Her work is immaculate. She's really good at sewing. Her rouge too. If anyone ever goes to look her up, her rouge is so gorgeous. I love it so much. What's her username? She's in my server, I think, still. Yeah, Kuma Clown is what she goes by. She's not really active. I think she just logs out of the internet and isn't on like social media a lot. But when she is on there, she posts. And her stuff's really good. So check her out.
Let's see. We have 2 hands raised now. We have I will call up Mario and Sonic Fan first, and then JCR after that.
Hello.
Hey Mario and Sonic Fan, how's it going?
I'm alright. Hi. I am loving your cosplay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I don't know if this has been asked before because I showed up late, but how exactly did you get into cosplay?
The TLDR. Funny enough, I started cosplaying around 2016. because that's trending now. I got really into it with COVID, and then that's kind of when the cringe. That was my cringe era. That's like when I filmed videos, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm hot shit." And then I look back on them now, and I'm like, "Who let me do that?" Like I was big in the Danganronpa fandom for a little bit, so I did like the like hand signals. I still do them for fun. I kind of miss it, but I did that, and then 2023 is when I started making things and started competing. And since then, it's been a rabbit hole. I'm now a masterclass cosplayer. I have 8+ awards in both craftsmanship and performance. I do a lot of skits. Skits are my favorite. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. Now it's just like a fun little thing I do.
I see.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you
thank
for
you for your. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I said thank you for the question.
Yeah, yeah. I
Of
was about to
course.
say that too, but yes, thank you for your question, Mario Sonic fan.
Mhm.
Radar, would you like to call up JCR? Oh, if you are there, Radar. If not, I call him.
Hello.
Hello. How'd it going?
Doing well. I love the Maria cosplay, and my question is, what's your favorite Maria performance? Like in the movies or like in the games or in the TV show? Like, what's your favorite overall performance?
Yeah, so thank you, first of all, for the compliment. Um, I don't know if this counts, but truthfully, I really like whoever did Maria and Snapcube. One of my most vocal stems is because my dog is named Shadow. Maybe towards the end I'll let him come in the room, but he is 11 months old. He's a little puppy, but his name is Shadow. And for a while there, we were trying different foods, and he was having farts. And for a while, I started getting to the "you smelt it, you dealt it, Shadow," and I just kept saying that. That's been a big vocal stud recently.
Hmm.
I do like whoever played her in the movie. I feel like they did it really well. I like that they leaned into like the 70s and like 80 version of her rather than it just being old school. But also like the original like Sonic Adventure 2. Like that's the classic. That's the one I kind of based this one off of. But I really like how they did it. I like the headcanon that she roller skates and that Shadow taught her how to skate. Because I love roller skating. One of the next things I do will be I live literally across the street. There's a skating rink, and we haven't gone yet. I don't know why we haven't gone yet. But I will go dressed like this. I fully plan to go get some photos. I also host meetups. Here, I'm from the Kansas City area in Kansas, and I do monthly meetups. I kind of stopped after I moved into my apartment for the last few months, but yeah,
That's pretty
roller
cool.
skating meetup will meet sometime.
That's pretty epic. I would love to roller skate, but I am too uncoordinated for that.
See, funny enough, I have neuropathy, so I can't feel my legs or my feet. It's gotten a little bit more difficult, but I still do it. I really like figure skating and stuff like that.
That's pretty epic.
Thank you.
Well,
I
thank you
hope
for
you
your.
have a good rest of your day.
Yep. Thank you for your question, JCR.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so we have about 4 minutes left. Radar, would you like to ask your last question to her before we wrap up the Q&A? And we'll give him a moment.
Everyone's typing.
Yep. Nope, nothing. Let's see. But yeah. Okay. He doesn't have any further questions. So, is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap up the Q&A? Maybe.
Sure. If you want to follow me on anything, I primarily use Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I go by MaveyWavie on there. I have a lot more content planned for YouTube coming up. Hopefully, I'll be at one of the Sonic conventions. Once this one, I know this used to be a convention. I know a little bit about the backstory, but once it gets up and running, I'd love to come check that one out. Sonic Expos are on my list. I would love to do Sonic Boost eventually. That one's also kind of on my list, but I might be doing MetroCon in Florida, and Kansas City to Florida and then Kansas City to California. Kind of a great distance that I kind of have to plan, and they're a little too close together. But MetroCon's a maybe. I don't know if I'm actually going. But yeah, you can follow me on all my social medias. I post a lot on those. I do post a lot of content and whatnot. And yeah, I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. Make sure you guys drink some water, hydrate, and yeah, spread a little sunshine throughout the world, because especially like America, like we just need a lot more positivity in the world.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, thank you very, very much for coming, Mavey, and thank you for co-hosting with me, Radar, and thank you, everybody in the audience, for coming. And tomorrow, it looks like the Shattered Gaming Lounge. They're playing Two Point Museum tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so we'll see you all there. Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right, now I just gotta figure out how to exit it.